That was your drum machine. Whose drum machine?
The drum machine.
The drum machine.
Oh, that was the drum machine?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
It sounds good. It's better than I've ever made it sound. I only ever would use it to just be like bass drum hit. Bass drum hit.
Yeah, like I said,
Because I didn't really know what I was doing.
some of the buttons were a little loosey-goosey, so you'd like rock the button and you get like... I was just trying to get like one out of it, but it was pretty cool.
Yes. Well, welcome to Hive Scum, that podcast for the... What is it?
82.
Are we starting?
Oh, welcome
Hello?
to Hive Scum, the grim and gritty podcast for the 28 community.
Yeah.
I'm Terry at Stone.John, IG.
We're recording?
Yeah.
I'm Gage at No Clear Coat.
I'm Steve at South of Heaven.
Blood transfusion. I'm Phil. Hi.
Nice.
Nice.
Nice. All right.
Really good vibes today.
Yeah, great vibes. It's in the daytime. We won't get haunted, but you guys won't know the backstory on that. So
We're
just
burning
kind of-
sage.
yes, read through the lines.
Actually, I
on that
would like
one.
to do that,
Well, I
yeah.
don't want to talk too much about it because
We're
think
sitting in its corner.
yes, and I think that it might gain power based on us talking about
Voldemort,
it.
Voldemort.
Oh, God.
Stop it.
Yeah, so let's just change the subject here. We're talking about miniatures.
Miniatures.
Yay.
Hobby.
Miniatures.
Toys.
Haha, toys.
Totally
Baby
exercised
toys.
miniatures. Yes, baby toys. Definitely not haunted dolls either.
The Bitspin is not haunted.
Well,
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 dude, shout out, just shouting out another podcast, but Otherworld. Did you listen to that episode that was like The Situation?
oh, never mind.
I mean, I listen to every episode. The most recent one. Did you listen to the most recent one with the
Cloaked?
with the physicist?
Yes, dude. So cool.
Dude, anytime a like serious scientist like has some shit to say about the paranormal, I'm all ears.
Yeah, you guys should check out
What
this
is that?
I was
podcast.
gonna link that one to the group chat.
You should have, because I listened to the one that you linked
Today? Oh, dude, that's good because
It's
it goes
sick.
into my stories for potential like Brothers of Prometheum scenarios and stuff.
I
which I'll
only
talk about
got
in a
like
little bit.
25, 30
Yeah.
minutes in, but I love the switching perspectives of all the different people talking about things that don't immediately correlate,
Oh.
but then as it builds, you're like,
Yes.
oh. Like the weird dating app thing, and like,
Yep.
dude, it was really cool.
Yeah, check
don't
out
wanna spoil
another
it.
podcast called Knife Point Horror if you haven't already. If you like short stories, it's like the
You
coolest.
like Connecticut?
This one in particular is about Connecticut, which is neat because they mention all of these like, you know, they're only talking about like big cities or whatever. They're like Hartford and
New Haven.
New Haven, yeah. And you're like, "Oh, cool. I know that place." It's like watching Gilmore Girls or
is it
something.
Connecticut based or are they just...
Yeah,
that
this
episode
story
is-
is, yeah.
No, I mean like the... Did they just throw the names in there?
I think so.
They just looked them on a map?
I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, they're like, Connecticut's not that big. I could just pop this in
Yeah,
wherever
yeah.
and it'll make sense.
They got 3 towns in there, right?
Yeah. But that show is so good. And some of them are like that. Some of them are a little bit more like, I don't know, what'd you call it, developed. Like there's different people in that episode.
Yeah.
You know, there's all these different perspectives. There's different actors that play the different parts. A lot of the episodes are just the person who wrote it. That guy, this one guy who writes all of these stories,
Yeah.
he just like he'll read them and kind of act his way through as like a single person.
Oh.
But even then, his stories are so cool.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of like cool paranormal stuff, but also just like weird, I don't know, just like weird sort of true crimey things in them. It's just a lot. Some of them are really out there, crazy, like extraterrestrial stuff. And sometimes it's like whatever, ghosts and just weird people. So it's a cool podcast.
I didn't appreciate in that episode that I listened to the woman disparaging guys having hobbies. Talking about being on a dating app.
Yes. After the 30th guy with Batman Lego sets, I was like,
I was like kind of pissed. I was like, who the fuck are you? Get your own hobby.
yeah,
Wait, what was she talking shit about?
Lego sets.
Oh,
But I don't know. Lego was never really my vibe. I never got into Legos.
I liked Legos when I was little.
I had a tub of them, and I would
Yeah.
like build pyramids.
Yeah, I like building castles.
Yeah, but I never got into Lego culture outside of that.
Oh no,
like the
I
big
definitely
Lego
figured
sets
that
and stuff.
I feel like that stuff's kind of like crazy, but
It's just so expensive. I think it makes Warhammer look cheap. No,
No.
I don't know.
I thought like
Warhammer's
those
definitely
big.
way more fucked up than Lego.
You can't even go buy a big tub. It's I would
but
say
I feel
it's
like
just-
Lego, you build it and you're done with it, and you have to buy another thing.
Yeah,
Yeah, if you're doing those kind of sets,
because you're not playing a game with
Well,
it.
that's what the general population says about Warhammer.
That's true. You're not wrong about that. I wonder what would happen if you put a big old Lord of the Rings set into just a box and you were like, this is my Lego bit. I just build stuff.
Yeah, it'd be sick.
Could you do that?
It
Yeah.
would fall apart, but yeah.
Come on.
I will say you can't just go out and buy a big
No.
like bucket of Legos anymore.
No.
You used to be able to, right? I'm
Yeah,
not crazy.
anymore though, because now Lego
Well-
is like a commodity.
Well, what you can do is you go to the Lego store with a big bucket.
Buy one bit at a time.
Well, yeah, no, they do by brick. So you can like they have the bins.
Yeah, that's fucked up.
How much
I
is
can't
a
even
brick?
imagine how much one brick is.
I don't know
10
the pricing.
cents?
Look, I mean,
Ugh.
that's the best way to do it.
10 cents
it's,
a brick?
It's expensive, I'm sure.
10 bricks for
I
a
mean,
buck?
we have Lego connections. We can
You know
just
what?
literally-
I'm not taking anything you say because you love to spend money.
Yeah,
So
I love that shit. Where I was going with this though is imagine if like a Warhammer shop or even Warhammer World, if there was only ever one, had that.
yeah, that would be cool.
You go up to the bin and you go, okay, I need 32 Space Marine right arms.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
how it used to be, right? The catalog.
Well, the catalog, but I'm saying like a physical, like
Oh, you could
like
just
how
go-
Lego stores do it.
Oh, dude, that would be sick. Pull out a little drawer and you just take as many as you want. They're all organized
pretty
like that
sick.
and snipped already
That'd be
for you.
pretty sick.
They would not. Actually, I was gonna say there's no way they would make money on that, but they would make so much
They'd
money
make a
on
killing.
that. They would make a killing if they brought back
they
the
would
bits
quickly-
catalog.
Buck a bit, dude.
quickly
people
know-
would, people would buy that shit.
Yeah.
What is selling and what isn't.
True.
You could even take away bits of kits that aren't like current right now.
Yeah,
I don't know.
we have
True.
a bucket of 1,000 of each bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, granted, storage would probably be really awful, but like you pay someone to categorize and organize it, and then you're done paying that person for that job. And
I mean, well, there's the problem right there.
You get one of those big.
GW paying
Yeah.
for
Oh,
something
there you
cool to
go.
happen.
whoa, we got to hire 2 employees for this Games Workshop store.
Two people at this store? No way.
Jeez.
You're
Absolutely
working
not.
7 days a week, pal.
Yeah, no way.
Okay, Mr. GW, I love your product. Yeah, you
Speaking
got
of products,
what?
what have you been producing lately?
Oh, shit. That was a good one. That was a good one.
Nice transition. That is a good, pretty good one. Okay, let me
We can only talk about Legos for fucking so long.
Now, last episode, that's true. Last episode, we didn't get a chance to talk about what we were working on because it was all Adepticon all the time. So
All the
now
time, baby.
this is a backlog of stuff I've been working on.
Same.
I should say
Same.
most of it has just been Nurgle cultists because I just every time I make a sci-fi guy, which is really what I've been into bashing lately, it's like, well, which direction is the sci-fi guy gonna go in? And it's just like, well, stick him in the Nurgle army. He's a cultist now, or he's a weird creature. Boom, there he is. That's his home. Anyways, what I've been doing is experimenting with paints. So about a month ago, I found 5 Vallejo Game Ink paints that I had bought from Adepticon for really cheap, for like $1 a piece. And
which you have not used since then.
really not used. And I was like, okay, well, I'll bring them to my school studio there and like work in the back room. And dude, they were so nice. Like they're so much fun to work with. They blend really well, so I can do these kind of like crazy, fucked up kind of wet blends with them. They dry what seems to be a little bit like long, like it takes them longer to dry, I
I
think.
think they got some extender in them.
I don't know. It seems that way because they blend for a while. And then I just been mashing in highlights into the top. But I've also been, from that, I bought a bunch of, well, I've been using my actual inks that I bought for terrain building. And then I bought a couple of more colors of inks, like a pink and a yellow that I've been using to just now further wet blend stuff. Then I was using Gage's speed paints, which I don't want to blow up because everybody's going to go buy them.
They're not going to.
Okay.
They
Listen.
can't find them, just like we can't find them.
Well, so the first gen of speed paints, the one that Army Painter likes to pretend doesn't exist, they're actually sick.
They're very sick. Actually, we should rephrase that. If you have Army Painter,
And you're just trying to get rid of them.
if you just hate them so much, you could send them to us.
Yeah, you
We'll
could
use
totally
them and
send it to
credit
us.
you.
Yeah.
So their biggest problem is that, dude, they reactivate.
Ew.
Oh, everybody hates reactivating, except when you try and mix a highlight color into the top layer, and it just seamlessly blends in a beautiful highlight without you having to do anything. But you wouldn't want that. You also wouldn't want like perfectly wet blended stuff that the only thing you have to do is quickly varnish them when they dry.
Yeah.
that would really suck.
Ew.
So nobody wants those ones, and so you can always send them to us if you don't want them.
Do you think that when they were making those paints, that's what they intended for them?
No.
No, you think it was just like a byproduct of
Dude.
some people that figured it out. We're like, this is the sickest thing ever, and
Maybe.
I will say, I think the real hatred comes from some of the colors, because even like I'm seeing it a little bit when I go back over.
Yeah.
Like hardened leather, I know for sure. If you have like a hardened leather coat, if you touch that with any bit of
Moisture stuff.
at all, it just all slides off.
Cool.
Yeah, it's like the layer.
So you
comes
have
off.
to varnish it.
So you'd have to varnish that, but for what Terry's saying and what he was teaching me because I used it on all the Adepticon guys, it's perfect.
Oh, it's so quick.
It's the
dude.
best way to use it.
It's so quick.
Yeah.
It's like using oils. Like you were talking to Evan
Right.
about it. Shout out. It's what Evan paying the Evan tax, but it's like using oils where it's like, well, if this stuff doesn't really dry, you could just go in and add white highlights.
Yeah,
you can
keep
go
doing
add
it.
whatever color highlights you want, and it's like you can take your time because the thing doesn't cure.
Right.
And then all you have to do is just like over it with a varnish at the end, and voila, there you go. It's like all set for you.
Sick.
So they're awful.
I mean, that's bad. I wouldn't want that at all.
No.
Yeah.
I
And, like-
would hate if someone sent me all their speed paints
Yeah.
Gen 1.
And Army Painter definitely pushed this shit through and was just like, maybe nobody will notice. And then,
Yeah, you think they got people
Immediately.
testing it? You think they got people testing
I don't know.
this shit?
How could they not realize that it's like, oh, all of this shit reactivates as soon as even if you use a brush on varnish, it's all coming off. It's going
Yeah.
to pool together
Yeah.
and just slide right off your model.
And then varnishes like that.
Yeah. And then, sorry, people who only do brush on stuff, like this doesn't work for you, which is a ton of people. I don't know. So who knows what they were thinking about.
people who use brushes on models.
Yeah, sorry. Idiot. We're airbrush only. Speaking of, I've also been using the airbrush thanks to $1 Billion Clown Farm.
Nice. Shout out.
BDCF.
Yeah, if you guys don't know this feller over on YouTube, the videos are great.
He's hilarious.
They're so much fun to watch.
He rocks. He was very friendly at Adepticon. Found out he is also an OG of New England.
Yep. Central Massachusetts native.
You
we
can
have
smell
we
it on
have
him.
weirdly mutual friends. That was weird to find out later.
He's coming
smell it.
back. We're going to get him down to the studio.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We're gonna
oh,
kidnap
for sure.
him.
Yeah. When he comes here, I'm not going to let him leave.
We're
We're
gonna
going to
rock
keep him in the space under the outside the windows
Yeah.
Under the grate.
Yeah, under the grate.
You can stay here with the ghost.
Yeah.
I mean,
Stop.
Stop.
Okay, sorry. We're not supposed to mention him. Anyways, though, the speed paint Drukari with corpse paint, where it was just like mostly airbrushed, looked great.
Yeah.
Like, took him very little time.
Yeah.
I don't know.
He's a master of fast turnover.
And it looks awesome. And I don't know. Recently I've been getting more into that vibe where I'm like, maybe I should lean into going fast. Maybe I should lean into being sloppy.
Listen, it works. Did you see Evan's
Kinda
army?
fun. Oh, dude. I mean, that's like prime example.
The second
of
I
just
saw that, I
going.
said, please, can you just teach me how to do this? Because
Yes.
I have an entire Empire army, and I hated painting them the other day.
they're high elves, right?
Yes.
For
I mean, to credit
Any
him, he's
rank
been
and
working
flank?
on them for a bit. But
He banged out a lot of stuff,
Yeah.
though,
Oh, I know.
very
Yeah.
recently.
yeah, I mean, the whole army's done.
right.
It's amazing. And so that leads me into recently I've been doing these like kind of watercolor paintings. I've been taking models and then using them as drawing models and kind of just like having fun, like blah, 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 splish splashing.
great.
They look really cool. And I'm really just like just like taking the brush and splattering paint for like effect on there. So last night I was painting a mini, another Nurgle cultist. And not only was I back to using inks, because I'll get into oils in just a second. I took that detour for a little bit. But back into using like just like inks and quick highlights, painted this whole mini in like, I don't know, 45 minutes or something like that, and then was just splattering paint on it, and it looked so cool. Like it gave the clothes such a cool effect, and I'm like, man, I should be splattering more. I should be like blending in shades more than I do. I should just be like really going like for a crazy look. And so now that's my new thing. Oils I dropped off of.
Fair.
They just like the drying time. I think that they're so beautiful.
Well, the thing about
boy.
painting oils here is
I
that
know.
they dry really fast.
Yeah, because you got the big old
The
Industo heater.
industrial electric heater.
Yeah, that'll help. But my shit has just been sitting there for a few days now. It looks great because oils blend so nicely, but I don't know.
Gage is
Just not
currently
worth-
Venmoing Hive Scum for a hoodie that he went over to the shelf and took off the shelf. But I don't know why, because he owns the hoodie already.
No, I spilled glue on mine.
That's okay. It makes it look cooler.
No, it's really annoying. It's a hilariously amount of glue.
So we have
crunchy.
So now we have to
Ew.
order new hoodies.
Sure it's
because Gage
glue?
is taking
Yeah.
one of the last.
Hey, at least I'm
ones.
paying for it.
It's true.
Yeah. Well, if you like the idea of getting a hoodie, you can head on over to the Big Cartel, right?
Yeah, the Hive Scum Big
Yeah,
Cartel.
only if you're a size small though, because that's all we have left for hoodies.
Sorry, you're not.
But
size
if
small.
20 of you go and buy them,
Well, this is the last medium.
if 20 of you go and buy them,
Yeah,
we'll buy more.
We'll buy more.
Okay, but you have to be a small. Well, I guess you don't have to be. You can make
No.
a patch out of it or something.
Yeah, we'll figure that out.
Yeah. I don't
And
know.
speaking of Hive Scum,
Yeah.
you could get more Hive Scum content over.
Oh, you're just doubling up, just trying to get it all out of the way. Yeah,
Do it all now.
Head on over to patreon.com/hivescum for an extra hour a month of content, as well as hobby hacks, which we haven't posted in a bit, but I have one brewing for a cool hobby hack that I'll post over.
I got one too. It's in my notes app right now.
Yeah, don't tell them though.
My
Don't
notes app
spoil it.
apology
unless you
to
want
Hive
to.
Scum.
Unless.
Unless no, I can't.
No, you can't do
I
it. But
can't.
if maybe,
What?
No,
Wait,
no,
what are you talking about?
spoiling his hobby hack. Unless.
No.
You could.
I can't.
Maybe.
It's not. It's a
Maybe.
narrative hack, not really a hobby
fucking-
hack.
No, but you
know,
get out over there.
so-
There's a bunch of cool people and cool things and cool stuff, and now we're and we got that out of the way.
Right.
That's all I've been doing. I've been
Shout out
bashing
to
up a
Into
lot
the
here.
A. I mean,
No, stop. That's so gross, dude. That's the worst thing you could do. People will even associate what you're saying in their head, and that's bad.
yeah, I agree. I'm sorry.
cutting that.
It was for the bit.
No, I'm not going to cut it. Anyways, though, I've been bashing up a lot here at the studio, making mostly Nurgle cultists and some brothers, which we'll get into shortly,
We'll definitely get into shortly.
and our Smash Bashes, which
And our
we've
Smash
all been
Bashes.
kind of working on, and
Yeah.
it's a lot. So
It's a lot.
that's all I've been working on. Moving on, Gage.
Let
Is
me
Gage ready?
let me pull this notes app up.
He just had it out. Now he's got to take
I
it
have-
back
I'm
out again.
PayPaling Hive Scum. All right, so what have I been working on? We haven't talked since the Adepticon episode.
Since before the, you know what I mean?
Yep.
The Poly app.
Yep, which we recorded during the week because Steve and I were working Northeast Dungeon Siege.
Oh, the post Adepticon one.
Yes.
Yeah, we recorded really late at night.
Yes.
And there was some abnormalities on the
Stop.
recording process. Just
You're
saying.
taunting.
No, you're right. I am kind of taunting.
So yeah, Steve, Phil, and I were at Siege. Northeast Dungeon Siege is, I want to say, the second largest dungeon synth festival in the world right now. I think Belgium has them beat. But it was great. This year was awesome. A lot of heavy hitters.
Yeah, it was really fun.
It was very sick. Steve's truck got hit. That was not sick.
No.
But
Not sick at all.
we made a lot of friends. Shout out duplication.ca.
Dude, insane.
made the Basilisk tapes.
Made the Basilisk
That we
tapes,
were selling
actually.
at our
Yeah,
table.
yeah.
Make a lot of tapes.
Yeah.
They made. I think they said that they made every single tape that was at that event.
Yes.
I believe it.
Yes.
There's only a couple of tapes manufacturers and like dubbing.
And I
big
think
factories.
I overheard them talking shop with someone else, and their biggest competitor, I think, closed their doors. So
I wonder if it's my guy at ABC Audio or whatever in
Uh-oh,
Ohio.
maybe.
I hope not. But anyways, we'll look up
they
that
might
later.
have taken them out.
Shout out.
Shout out. So real quick, just from that, I wanted to shout out my boy Gordo, aka Questmaster,
Nice. Your twin.
my twin.
Twinsy.
A lot of shout outs of how good my set was. A lot of people slapping me on the back. Greg Wire was also working it. I forgot to shout him out. But I've never heard Greg laugh as hard as he did from when children were like, "Great set, man."
That was amazing. Changed my life.
But he did come over the next day because Steve posted a picture of me, tagged him saying great set. And then I also had friends, I'm not going to dox them, but friends being like, yo, this does look a lot like you. And I'm like, this is me in the picture, you fucking assholes. But so Gordo comes over the next day and he was like, are you the doppelganger? And I'm like, yeah. And he's just like, cool, just talking. He's like, so talking to us about the booth. Turns out he's an old Necromunda guy.
No shit. So
Yeah.
now he's back in.
Definitely not back in. But he knew about the hobby. He knew about everything. He's like, this is like Mordheim, right? And we were like, dude, you're like a real gamer.
Yeah.
So
Just knowing what Mordheim is like half the
yeah,
battle.
that's the turnkey itself right there. Also shout out Wraith Knight, also a gamer, came over to the table. Just a very cool dude. I told him I bought his tape. And And he immediately just went and grabbed a bunch of other merch and just gave it to me.
Aw.
I was like, dude, this guy rocks. And do you remember our event last year?
Yeah, of course.
The guy with the hospital productions patch, Justin.
Yeah. Yes.
So he comes over after the game. He played again this year.
Okay, sweet.
Very nice dude. He comes over after and just starts talking about games with Steve and I, just old PC games, just old PC gamer
this
culture.
was cool.
And he and I played he was referencing very, very specific niche things within the 1.6 modding community. Just a very, very crazy hone in on the Half-Life era of
Like a
gaming.
niche of a niche of a niche.
Yeah, yeah. And he was just like, all right, so Hives comes the podcast, right? Okay, In Rust is the server, and Under the Dice is the zine, right? I think I got all three. And we're like, yeah, you're in. He's like, cool, cool, cool. So I just want to shout him out, being stoked on everything we're doing, and playing in our Forbidden Psalm event 2 years in a row.
Gary's mod.
Gary's
Yes.
mod rock.
That's 6 years past what we're talking, but there we go. So that took up a lot of my mental space, but I was ecstatic to get out of running events mode and finally get into my list of games.
Dude, it's got to feel so freaking good.
It is awesome because number one on my list for the last year has been Necropolis.
Yes.
And I have not... Listen, this game is so good. Anyone that is listening to me right now, go fucking get the rules. Go make a gathering. It is so fun. Everything that we love about Middle Earth strategy battle game battle companies is in this game.
If Peter wasn't so cool, I'd tell you to stop shilling another person's game.
Listen,
But Peter rocks. and the
I've
game
played
is
this
cool.
game. I can confirm to you that it is a sick game. It's not just aesthetic, although the aesthetic is perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not just because Martin did the art. But
Yeah, that's also true.
it's good.
Everything about it is dripping in flavor, and it's not heavy on rules at all. It is so easy to just envision what your creepy dead weirdos are going to be.
Yeah.
And then make a warband for it and start playing.
Yeah.
Paul and I ran through a game in 20 minutes the other day.
Do they have to be dead?
Yes.
Are there humans?
No. I was going to teach my friend Terry, but he was salivating over the bits bin, and we didn't get to play.
Once
That's
you
because
have
he
those,
doesn't like you or Peter.
That's true.
Yes, Peter. Shout out. Anti shout out.
Anti shout out.
A reverse shout out to you.
Shout in.
Thank you.
So,
but yeah, the bit spin. Once the bit spin's out, dude.
no,
if
listen,
I pull up,
I asked you
That's
once.
Tyler's fault, honestly.
Tyler's in there deep,
Yeah,
and I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah,
oh
DT
my God.
going deep in the freaking
Late night
bit spin.
vibes and the bit spin, dude. I get it. That's how we all fell in love over at the Battle Center.
That's
you know?
true.
After we bought all their bits, we've never been back.
Yes,
It's true.
Rest in peace.
I don't even think they have bits anymore.
No, we
Really?
own them all. We bought them all the last.
I mean, they
fucking
have
con.
bit spins, but they all suck now.
Yeah, we took all the good stuff.
We took them all.
All the old stuff.
We know that Necropolis is a great game because it actually got me to paint my warband that
True.
I bashed over a year ago. So
Plus,
It
it was
only took
probably,
you a year.
it only took me a year.
Probably like 4 or 5 models, right?
1 to 8 is
1 to
all
8,
you'll need
yeah,
in the
yeah.
game, but you can kit out your gathering.
Yes.
One big boy.
With your
sorry.
300 obols.
Now I understand why
Obols.
you're giving me death stares of saying warband. My bad.
God, dude, put some fucking respect on it.
What's the term
What
for
Gathering?
a warband? Oh, gathering.
Yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah.
the Juggalos.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's
Yeah.
kind
No.
of, yeah.
Come on.
That's where Peter's head was at.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Peter, chime in. Are
Yeah.
you a Juggalo?
Are there juggalos in England?
Are there
yeah.
juggalos?
There's
in
juggalos
Necropolis?
worldwide,
Yeah,
motherfucker.
Yeah.
That's got to be the worst sounding,
Dude,
conversation.
Peter being inspired by ICP for his
The
game
Dark
is
Carnival?
so cool.
Yeah, the Dark
Dude, that's going to be my war band.
Oh, Peter, I'm sorry.
No, that's really neat.
Oh
A
my
bunch
God.
of clowns coming to town,
my God,
motherfucker.
dude.
Yeah. Necro J.
No.
Crochet.
Ew.
Well,
What's the other guy?
You brought us here. You drove us to this
Shaggy
conversation.
2 Dead.
Shaggy
Yeah.
2 dead.
Yes.
Wow, I hate this a lot.
Well,
Dude,
it's not your
corpse paint
game.
is cool.
Corpse paint is cool, but it's,
don't think
I
it's
wouldn't
corpse paint.
couldn't I would
Listen,
not ever call
it-
Juggalo paint corpse
clown
paint.
Juggalo paint is like... Well, I don't even know how much of
go
a
off. I
percentage
like this.
away from corpse paint, but it ain't fucking much.
Yeah, it's like, where does
It's
Kiss
black and
fall?
white.
Is Kiss in between?
Yeah, Kiss is corpse paint.
Kiss
ICP
is the arbiter
and-
between ICP and corpse paint. Black
Yeah,
and
it's
white.
So the
all the
spectrum
fucking
goes
same.
ICP, Kiss, corpse
Black-
paint.
Yeah,
Okay.
black
So
and white.
they're one they're one thing removed from each other.
I mean, there's probably varying degrees in there.
No.
It's probably a wide spectrum of face
I
paint.
don't know.
here.
You're not really selling this.
Yeah.
Oh,
I would say in
God.
the debate you're losing right now.
I hate this.
Me and Phil are on Steve's side. I think.
I hate this.
We're just a bunch of Juggalo homies.
Yeah, homies.
So anyway,
What about every new metal band in like the late '90s that wore face paint?
like Mudvayne.
dude,
Yeah,
Hell
Mudvayne.
yeah.
Where's Mudvayne
Yeah.
fall on this?
Every
That's what I'm
every
saying. They're in the
Psychopathic
spectrum.
Records artist.
Past Kiss, closer to black metal
Is Mudvayne?
But
is
usually,
Mudvayne.
Absolutely.
but farther away than ICP.
Definitely.
You
But-
think? I don't know. It might be more of a circle.
No.
but you also had bands like
you go so corpse paint that you go gathering.
it's a four-dimensional object.
Yeah.
dude. Yeah,
I hate this.
Think about like next year at Dungeon Siege, the guy that's just does Juggalo.
Dude, let's all
paint.
just wear Juggalo paint to
and see who
Dungeon
notices.
Siege.
a Zaragroth is just actually a Juggalo. Wow. This is
I
revolutionary.
don't know. I don't
is
know.
cool.
This would be a good sticker too.
I can't wait for the Chris White
yeah.
Photoshop of this conversation.
Yeah.
Well, I was a Juggalo for Halloween.
It was
That's
good.
true.
Oh yeah.
Dude, I love DS, and then it's just like a picture of a Juggalo. It's
Oh
like
my God.
face paint.
I don't
Yeah.
like that at all.
That's cool. I'm gonna make that sticker for next year.
Very cool.
I love
Anyways,
fantasy
Necropolis
synthesizer.
28.
Anyway, Necropolis 28, great game. That ruined all my train of thought. I've been working on Smash Bash. I have my concept fully fleshed out. In practicality, I ran into a lot of fucking roadblocks on it.
Yeah, Gage hates me and won't print me anything on the 3D printer because he's too fucking busy.
I'm printing a lot of skeletons for my
Don't spoil it.
Smash Bash. That's all I'll say.
Well, by the time this comes out, because I was just thinking that, like, I was pretty quiet about mine.
Yeah.
But by the time this comes out, it might be getting pretty close to. But we'll probably be sneaking in right at the deadline, so no
yeah,
spoilers.
oh,
yet.
absolutely. Yeah. Smash Bash has been working a lot in my brain. I've been trying to, while home, Brad's got me on Old World, so I've been pushing orcs onto a side of the table. I've got real display of power right now on my workbench at home. And then to the right, I have my Brothers of Prometheum / Gene Slayer Cult / Tyranid army on the other side. So it's everything's compartmentalized. I just need to pick a day and go through all my stuff right now.
You're pushing away orcs? Or are you using orcs for
No,
old world?
no.
He's got to paint them.
Yeah, I got to paint them.
Okay, okay.
I have my whole army now made.
Well, sweet.
I have 2,000 points set up.
Oh,
I
fucking A.
own 3,500 points worth, so I just need someone to hold my little hand and play.
Well,
Listen, we will hold hands and paint our orcs because I will make an orc army, and
Yeah.
then me, you, and Brad will have a show
Yeah.
of force
That'd be sick.
that
Orc
is
gang.
unstoppable. I had this really stupid
Orc
idea
gang.
for like a YouTube series where I just paint that orc army that I bought. The 10,000 points of orcs.
What would the series be?
All right.
Every episode painting one orc?
I'm
No,
painting.
probably a squad.
10,000 episodes?
Yeah, it's got some life to it.
Listen, you want to talk about speed painting orcs? There's this guy on YouTube, $1 Billion Clown Farm.
Oh, yeah?
It's got videos about speed painting these freaking
Yeah,
I think
just
I've seen
watch
that video.
shit.
Yeah.
I'll watch that.
orcs. Right?
His banner video, I put it out in the
so
studio
sick.
again the other day.
Yeah.
I love that.
Let's
fucking
watch it
video.
again after.
I
It's
think
great.
that's the only real draw to me to old fantasy shit is just big ass banners.
And then you have to, when you do that for a squad, you have to give them a magical banner.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
of course.
Yeah.
There's nothing else.
That's it.
Nothing else is important to talk about. Steve, take your turn.
Nothing? Oh, yeah. I guess you did go over everything, right? You didn't
Yeah.
miss anything? I
Are we
feel like
missing
you
anything?
missed
Well,
something.
I have something that I know is going to take up mental capacity. Can we talk about that?
What is it?
What we're doing, you and me?
The big thing?
The big thing?
The thing that we talked
Oh.
about in the Patreon episode, or the other big
Yeah.
thing?
You know.
There's a couple big things that we can't talk.
Oh, no,
about.
we definitely can't talk. Okay, well, we have to cut some
So
of this.
Yeah. it's
why?
fine.
We
They
definitely
can, we can hint.
We definitely can't talk about the thing.
We're not talking about it. We're just
I'm talking about us. You know.
Yes. Yes.
about us going to Croatia.
Yeah, baby.
You guys want to high five again like you did on the page?
Yeah, dude.
Hold on. You gotta mic it up.
That was much less aggressive. Oh, fuck you. Yeah, so that's great. Have fun, guys.
No, come on. You guys gotta come.
I don't know.
Quit
I'm
your
thinking about
jobs
it.
in
I'm
life.
thinking about it. But
Steve and I are going to
Maybe
turn
we'll make a
here.
shirt. Maybe we'll make a new sick shirt to help
To fund
it.
Terry and Phil coming
No,
to Croatia.
listen, it's not. It's time, not money.
Yeah, time is money, friend.
Time is money. I'm a businessman. No way.
Yeah, lack of money's never stopped
I'm
me
not
from
a
doing
businessman.
anything.
Absolutely, yeah. So yeah, I mean that's on the horizon. I really want to get Smash Bash out of the way before I work on my term warband, but
Yes.
I mean, that's not till July. We
Brother-
got time to do a warband.
You should do
Yeah,
a
you got 3 months.
Terminator warband.
Oh, a bunch of Necrons?
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny because they're Terminators.
Necrons
then you just
was
talk in a-
Robnik.
You just talk in a fucking Arnold voice the whole
Oh,
time.
God.
Just really bum everyone out.
Yeah, that would be really funny.
Yeah,
Just
10-hour
ruin the
flight to just
immersion.
ruin everyone's day. That'd be so
No,
cool.
Yeah, just don't do that. Actually, that's bad.
I would
idea.
never. I simply would never.
But yeah, that's exciting.
It is exciting. I'm very nervous.
For what?
I've never been to Croatia.
Never
Well,
been on a plane before?
No,
brother?
I've been on a plane before, brother.
for
But
that
I'm
long.
saying the. I feel like this is like a spotlight on, like everything I've done. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I hear you. I hear
You
you.
know?
It's a cool thing. I'm just busting balls.
Yeah,
but,
it's intimidating. I'm excited. I'm very nervous, but very excited. Ready for the challenge.
We should green
Yeah.
stuff our entire army. Like, make
Okay.
custom sculpt it.
Steve,
That's
what have you
insane.
been working on, please?
Oh, I have to talk about it now? All right, what have I been doing? I haven't been doing nothing.
That is not true.
We went to Dungeon Siege.
Yes. And you ran Mordheim.
No. No.
Mordheim ran itself.
I brought my 2 boards for Enzo and Dylan to show up, and that was it.
That's a good crew, though.
That was sick.
Shout
yeah,
out.
yeah.
it was sick.
Did you have full signups and just only
There was
2
like
people?
7 people signed up for Mordheim.
He had a full sign up list.
Really? And
Yeah.
only
Nice.
2 showed up?
And it was my friends
No.
who I don't even think signed up.
A
Oh,
third-
no, Enzo was.
A third person did show up for it, but then but also wanted a whole warband for them
Oh, good.
with it being made.
Oh, good.
And I was like, well, there's old school essentials over there. It's just a D&D type game. He goes, oh, I'm going to go play in that instead.
Sayonara.
Okay. Which also, shout out real quick, since we're talking about that, shout out Captain Carbon. Who's
yeah.
just a person I've been talking to on the internet.
Yeah.
Had no idea. Just talking about RPGs and stuff and Dungeons and
Totally.
Dragons. They're a fucking writer for Invisible Oranges.
I don't know.
Oh,
what that is.
cool. They did the write-up for...
They did the write-up for the whole event.
Yep.
It's like a metal blog.
Oh, okay.
You know, when you do Warlock hands, it's like you're holding invisible oranges.
That's so silly.
Yeah.
It is very silly.
That's the bit. But
The amount of people
a
I saw
prestigious
doing
website that I've read for many years.
Oh, well, there
And
you
then
go.
seeing our fucking gaming crew being shouted out, and
He's a nice guy.
he's a very nice guy.
He was stoked to be running his game.
Playing a role-playing game at a Dungeon Synth festival is,
It should have been happening during the music.
I don't know. about
It's
that.
tough. That's a tough ask. Hey, you remember trying to play a Hero Quest during Change, right?
I didn't do that.
Well,
I
you
think
didn't.
I think they did it, and it was fine.
Do you think so? You think it was fine?
I don't know.
I think they talked-
Cosmic Mike and Scott chime in because those are
Yeah.
the only people
And
that I know that
TJ
played.
and Cody
I think
Yeah.
there's probably a lot of hand movements after Chain started.
and John.
Yeah, chime in. Was
Pointing
it
at
fine?
things.
It was
Yeah.
great
I point at things anyway when I'm playing a game.
because you're Italian.
Let's pause and wait for them to chime in.
Can you guys try? Let's call it. Let's get him on the phone.
Yeah, get them on the wire here.
on the horn.
Yeah.
I can probably call TJ.
Hey, this is Scott Amansa.
He's not British.
Oh, yeah. I'm from the 13th colony,
No, the Carolinas.
the Carolinas. Well, it was great. Playing at Nemo, it was a real splash.
That's
Splash.
awesome. That's awesome, Scott.
Yeah.
All right,
Thanks
Scott,
to
we're
hear from you.
busy, dude. We gotta go.
Click.
All right.
Yeah, my truck got hit. Dungeon Siege was cool. Made a lot of new friends.
Yeah.
That's the most important part.
Yeah, people that knew Mike
Yeah, that was
Gundam Mike.
crazy.
Oh, really?
just came over. They're like, "Hey, you know my friend Mike, right?" We're like, "Yeah."
No, that's not how it happened.
Well, no. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm confusing the interaction with someone who knew Tanner.
That was
Oh,
the
yeah.
craziest.
Yeah.
What was her name? Ryan?
Ryan is Obsidian's girlfriend.
Yes,
Yeah,
Ryan.
yeah.
So Ryan, I went over to Obsidian's merch table. They had this girl Miranda. Her Instagram handle is Sensual Beast. She does insane pen. and
Oh
ink
yeah, yeah,
art.
yeah. Yeah, I follow.
He runs Death Eternal, if I'm not mistaken, which is a label in
Yes,
Richmond.
yes.
Which is what that was for sale through.
Yes. And I was like, oh, that's crazy. I follow this person. That's cool that you're selling this. And Ryan was just like, oh, yeah, that's crazy. And then comes over to our merch table like day 3.
Yep.
And was like, "Oh, I wish I had more of the zines. I'd like, I'd give you one or whatever." And then we just got to talking because she saw my zine and wanted to like buy stuff.
Yeah.
And she's like, "This is like the magazines that my friend Mike has at his tattoo shop on the counter." And I'm like,
Whoa.
"What?" I'm like Mike DeBolt? And she goes, "Yeah, do you know him?" And I'm like, "Yeah, that's crazy. We were just in Richmond hanging out with him at his event."
Crazy. What
Yeah.
a world, man.
And it turns
What a
out she
weird
works
world.
she works at a salon with my friend Charlotte as well. So it was just like all these people that I know from like different avenues,
Yeah.
like through this one person. I'm like, that's just so fucking crazy.
Dude. All these countercultures be combined.
Yeah. Well, Richmond, it's not too big of a city.
No.
When you're in the subculture, I guess it's like you would know
Yeah.
everyone.
I definitely want to go back to Richmond for more than just like 2 days.
Richmond's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
A lot of
Swim in their
cool
nasty river.
No,
Yeah,
that
dude.
shit smells.
beats. Does it?
Yes.
No. I
A lot of
never
rivers
smelled it.
smell.
Yeah. There's life growing in there.
I remember seeing a dude on a jet ski in that river when I was there. Not last time, the time before that, and like the water coming out was just shit brown.
Nice.
It's just
Shit,
fucked
maybe
up.
it was shit.
It probably was.
Maybe, yeah.
What have I been working on? Oh, that Empire Army.
Your Empire Army.
I put
Yeah.
together.
That display board that I'm staring at.
Yeah. So I started.
Yeah, there
that-
hasn't really been. Steve's not really doing anything,
hasn't done
as he
anything.
said.
So I started an Empire Army, like simply for the fact that we've been playing OPR. I don't really feel like playing lizards because of the aesthetic.
I
And
can tell because they're in your case upside down and just thrown in the case.
whatever.
Just emptied the box of the whole army and goes,
Fair.
yeah, whatever.
Well, because Ian has undead, and because I wanted to build undead, but then Ian has undead, so I can't
Yeah.
play undead against Ian. That seems silly. So I was like, well, I have all these fucking Empire models already on bases, half painted by whoever when I bought them. I'll just play with these, and then I assembled a pretty sizable force
Yeah.
now with like movement trays and everything, and I have to paint them now. And I don't want
Yes.
to because painting sucks. As you saw the other day, I had the worst
Listen,
time painting.
If you got one bad day, some days it's just not going to work out.
And I get that. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to prime them again, like just fucking
Yeah.
zip zap, and then I'm just going to do the gouache thing. I'm going to follow Matt's dark
yeah.
armor tutorial, but I'm
It's
going to
good.
do it with like an inversion where I do yellows and black for
Yeah.
everything, like because that's I'm going to do Averland, so it's like yellow and black, do some checkers and shit like that.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to just go over it with oils like Matt does with a black oil and fucking
Yeah.
darken everything down and then do some like little accents. And I'm going to try and
Don't
do it
look great.
fast.
Sometimes there are cursed models, man. I'm telling you.
Dude,
like
those
sometimes,
Empire Gunners, cursed.
Yeah.
They look bad.
Sometimes they just like. I've tried to paint models like, and they end up with 3 layers of paint on them, and you're like, this still looks bad. And then you just got to put that into the garbage and move on with your life.
It might happen. Or
Yeah.
I might just sell. I was talking to someone about selling a bunch of Empire stuff.
Yeah.
To just buy the kit where they actually look cool. Like,
Yeah.
not monopose, and I can actually like.
I would
But
say
that
don't-
seems too much work.
Yeah, don't throw away a whole unit, but if there's one model that's fucking you,
Yeah.
get rid of that, dude. It's cursed.
So that's both what I've been doing with that army and that is a future project, which I know we'll get into later.
Yeah.
And then I've been working on my diorama castle for.
Holy shit, is it big, dude?
It's fucking silly. So it's multifaceted, because everything I do can't just be for a single project. It has to be, this has to have more than one use.
yeah.
So I built a diorama board for my Smash Bash. It's sizable.
Fucking
it's a 1x1 tile.
dude.
One by one tile, but it's
3 feet
yeah, I was
tall-
gonna say
tall.
2.5 feet tall.
But it's going to be a diorama board for the Smash Bash. It's all going to be one big thing. I have this big scary guy I'm working on that was a demon prince for my Chaos Army, and I just started cutting him up to use the torso from it. And that's going really badly, and I'm getting really mad about it. But that's okay. But the diorama is really cool. It's a big castle gate inspired by Castle Soul from Elden Ring.
Yeah.
Not directly, but like I use that as a frame of reference when I started building
Totally,
it.
man.
And yeah, it's gonna be really cool. I
Dude, it's
plan
gonna
to
be
use it.
fucking great.
It's gonna be for Smash Bash, and then I also, when we were at Dungeon Siege, I put my 3x3 tile on the table
Yeah,
with
baby.
a light over it to like get people to come over to the table. And I don't want to do that every time I sell, so I was like, I'll just build a diorama board on a 1x1
yeah.
that can fit in a box that I can just bring with me to shows and
Yeah.
stuff like that to sell.
And will this fit next to your 3x3 board too, and like link up? It probably
no.
could.
I mean, I could probably find a spot for it too. But
Yeah.
I'm not going to do that.
No, okay.
I think the idea is it's an alternative to
No,
lugging
I
that
know.
around.
Yeah.
No, you
no,
meant
no.
for playing.
Just
on?
for playing, yeah. Like
yeah.
stick it up against it here,
Yeah,
and
you
then you
probably
could just
could.
go
Yeah,
like one to
easily.
the other.
Well, so
Just give it a little riser for the bottom. Who cares?
Totally.
yeah, I do have to fuck with it a little bit because the front face of the diorama is like jarring because it's just a slice away.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
gonna cut into it,
Oh,
and make
yeah.
it like a crumbling bridge, and like build the bricks out so it just looks better when you're looking at it facing.
Yeah.
But when we played a siege game the other day, it was I put it like behind the castle
Totally.
like, that we were playing on, and it looked really really cool.
That
It
looks
was
fucking
very
sick.
exciting.
Yeah, you'll probably see these probably
I'll take an in progress picture and put it.
yeah.
put
But
it up
even then,
somewhere.
like I think the 26th or whenever this is due. Is it due the 26th or the 28th?
Yeah.
Something like that. Google it, listener.
End of the month.
End of the month. And so probably by the time this comes out, it will not be that much longer. You have to wait to see all of our Smash Bash builds.
Yeah. And then working on, I've been working on a castle and like these siege missions
Yeah.
for OPR. Because
Yep.
me and Ian have been, in general, I've been playing a lot of OPR regiments because it's
Yes.
so easy to pick up and just play. We wanted to do a castle siege like you'd see in Old White Dwarfs all the time. Like a mission that isn't just like get to the objective or like,
Totally.
take and hold or whatever. And we built a castle in like 30 minutes at the studio, and then we did a siege mission that we just made up the rules for, and now it's in like a Google Doc, and we're like tuning it up, and
Yeah.
we're going to do some more testing with it, I think, in either next week or the weekend after.
Fuck you, brother.
Yeah, that's it.
Nice. Phil, what about you?
Oh, what about me? This will be quick and easy. Not much. I've been on kind of a hobby hiatus the last
Yes.
couple weeks. I've been unwell.
Yes.
But my one guy I've been working on kind of
so sick.
just bleeds into our main
Yeah.
topic here. I have a little guy that I made for Brothers of Prometheum. Well, didn't make him for Brothers of Prometheum, but I rebirthed him for Brothers. It's an old kit bash that I did years ago for AdMech. It was like an old Forge World resin tech priest that I dropped and broke, and so I just grabbed a bunch of other guns and AdMech claws and bits and kind of just stuck them to him.
It looks
And,
sick.
It looks
That
so
carapace
sick.
on him is so cool.
Yeah, he looks like some kind of a fucking shellfish.
Yeah.
That's why I like him. And it kind of sparked my my idea for what I'm going to be doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's. I mean,
It's cool.
that. Does that go right into our main topic?
Dude,
It
hell
does,
yeah. Wow.
Lead
Thanks,
us in.
Phil.
Lead us in.
Also, pour one out for the Beastmen.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
score one out.
God.
I mean, what is there to say?
No.
I don't really feel that much about it. You know.
They're not going anywhere.
Yeah, it's
'cause
not like we're
playing
playing.
square-based
Yeah.
stuff anyway. You
Yeah.
can just keep playing with them.
Yeah, and also just keep playing AOS. Like, it doesn't matter. Who the
Yeah,
fuck
I don't
cares?
care that much.
Yeah.
Well, not having nice new products to buy
Yes.
stinks. I
Well-
love buying products.
I think they said that they were going to do new stuff, but it was just going to be catered to Old World.
I mean, we'll see. I'll
Yeah.
believe that when I see it.
Fingers crossed.
And
Yeah.
it'll also probably be, I'm sure Beastmen won't be the first highlight.
No. Well, it's
Yeah.
funny because they were like the bad guy. Like you've said, they were the puttymen for
Oh yeah, dude, they're the
for
putties.
fantasy forever. Like you would think they'd, because I was reading something about how recently, because they need a big bad guy to project these stories in these games,
Right.
But they don't have one because they were going to rely on Tomb Kings being the bad guys, but the community doesn't look at Tomb Kings that way.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So they don't have a bad guy right now, and it's like a reason for bad sales because they don't have the bad faction to fight against.
So you mean as in people don't see Tomb Kings as bad guys, or people just don't like Tomb Kings?
I don't think
No,
they're
no,
buying
they don't
into
see them
the,
as bad guys.
Oh yeah, people love Tomb
Yeah,
Kings.
I don't think
They
they're
wanna-
buying into the ideology of them being like the big bad.
Yeah.
So they
Oh,
want to make
yeah, yeah.
Beastmen the big
No,
bad?
no, they don't have one right now.
Oh,
That's
okay,
like
okay.
what they're holding out for. Hopefully, in the next drop.
I don't know. I've said it before, dude. The old world, it's really cool, but man, this shit could just end up becoming another Horus Heresy.
Yeah, it could just be a thing that just ends up getting canceled again in a couple of years. anyway.
1000%.
Did Horus
just
Heresy
like-
get canceled?
Well, I mean,
No, but I
it's
mean,
there.
I feel like any of their product lines other than their
Yeah.
main two, are always liable to just like
they dropped
get
the ball.
boot.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see. I think the old world is very sick as like a cool concept. However, it's like it's so new, and to expect all of these people to be
Well,
like,
it's
yeah,
not
I'm gonna,
new.
Well, no, but
It's old.
Also, people
Yes.
that just I imagine how many people rebased their entire army
Yes.
to play
Yes,
Age
me.
of Sigmar.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Or
I'm not gonna do
I
it
finally
again.
am getting into Age of Sigmar. I rebased my army in 3rd edition, and they're like, actually, I'm going to cut your army, and now we're doing Old World. And
Totally.
It's like, I would be fucking furious.
Well, I mean, that's like what the outcry is. That's why
Yeah.
everyone's so fucking mad.
you're relying on a lot of work from your people that like even just expecting people to then take their old fantasy battle armies and not just have like gotten rid of them when you canceled
Yes.
it the first time,
Yeah.
being like,
Yeah.
I don't want this anymore. They canceled my game.
Right.
Yeah, you pissed a lot of people off of that, and now you're expecting them to come crawling back just because you're like shiny new models.
Right. It's also the.
but they're not even new.
I know.
Well, that too. But it's also like the. Because a lot of people were like, yeah, I mean, you know what happens? It's the game. But it's the players that don't have communities like ours. They're the ones that just show up.
That's what it is,
And
too,
they
is
want
like-
to play with the models that they
Yes.
have in a rule set that is established. And
Yeah.
they can't now.
Yeah,
And
those
that's
things
the big
are
bummer.
they're there to reduce friction between strangers as they play.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
You have like a pre-agreed upon thing, and if no one is out there creating a pre-agreed upon thing, like
Yeah.
a company is putting out their rule set or whatever, their supported rules, then people aren't going to. They're not going to gather around one format or another.
Yeah.
I will say thank you to them because now you are driving those players to now seek alternate ways to play with their models.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The ones that have the intuition to do that, they
Oh,
are doing that.
OPR exists? I'll just play
Yes.
that.
Yeah.
with
Oh,
my
let me
toys.
find a community that accepts me playing round bases in Old World, or like you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Any bit of that.
Come
Which,
to the dark side.
If you aren't cool with that,
Yeah. Which
Fuck
I,
you.
If you're not cool that you're not listening to this
Yeah.
podcast.
well, I think I've said before, it's like kind of a golden age for miniature wargaming right now, but that's a double-edged sword. While there's so many people joining the hobby, there's so many cool, new games and creators coming out. It also comes with the fact that the big dogs are going to do everything they can to maximize their profit.
Yeah.
And the shareholders that don't really
give a
care
shit
much
about
for
this.
it, they're going to look at the success of something like Magic, and they're going to
Yeah.
try and make it a hobby where you can never stop buying.
Mm-hmm.
You always have to.
Next
You
season
know.
of war, you have to buy all
Yeah.
of this. You
Which
have
Yeah,
to-
is the
yeah,
I
you gotta-
fucking hate it.
Yeah.
You got to stay on the treadmill. So
games
you know,
companies
it's-
hate
I guess
us.
it's
for
really
these 3 reasons.
it's really up to players and hobbyists to make it a golden age.
Yeah.
Which-
Games Workshop isn't going to do it for you.
It's so funny because you were talking about 4th edition the other day, and the things you were telling me, I was like, oh, that sounds really exciting and
Yeah,
fun.
that's the
Like,
thing that's a bummer is I have been looking at all the like rules things they've been showing for 4th edition, and I do like a lot of what
Oh, I'm sure.
Right.
they're doing. So it's like, well,
Do you think? Now, this might sound crazy, but what if you took your 3rd edition Beastmen Codex and just played 4th edition with it?
they are getting 4th edition rules.
Yeah.
but it's only
But
the legacy bullshit.
But after that, they're no longer going to be. So they're supposedly what they said is they're going to be legal to play in official tournaments until summer of 2025.
so when you get
and
your
then
codexes, like
and then
the full
and then
codex.
after that, they're going to be discontinued.
yeah.
So, listeners, if you have a Beastman army that you are really upset about and no longer want,
Yeah,
you can
throwing it
email
into the
me
trash.
at underthedice@gmail.com and I will purchase them for a very nice price.
yes. Also,
on
in
my end.
in lieu of flowers.
Yeah, I'm not
for
gonna.
Phil.
I'm not gonna
Yeah,
stop.
yeah, yeah.
I'm not gonna stop building them and painting them. And even there's still shit that I would want to buy and add to
Yeah.
my
Yeah,
collection.
no,
but,
absolutely.
Beastmen rock.
Listen, there's Beastmen in OPR. OPR is fun.
Yeah, I'll play
Yeah.
whatever with them. I already do use them for. I mean, most because they're the only painted models I have, but
Right.
I use them for all sorts of games.
Well, your cool tech bash is amazing.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the AOS thing that you're going to play though? What am I trying to say here? The guys, they're like
Oh,
the
Flesh Eater
undead flesh
quartz?
eater
Yeah,
quartz.
yeah.
Yeah, in lieu of flowers, send Phil a little flesh eater quartz model
Yeah.
that you
Yeah.
bash up for. That'd be cool to have a bunch of community bashes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's good. I've received enough Beastmen as gifts. I don't need any more.
Yeah, no more beastmen.
Ghouls.
Just
Send
ghouls.
ghouls.
Ghouls. He loves ghouls. So anyways, today's topic is talking about Brothers of Prometheum. You may have heard it mentioned here once or twice on the podcast.
A couple, 2-3
I don't
times.
even know if we've really ever gone into like what.
We definitely have.
Okay, good. Phew, good. That
have?
saves a lot of
Yeah.
trouble. I don't know if we did, but
Should we do a quick
I think we
recap?
should.
We absolutely should, because that's just good hosting.
yes. Oh, that's a good idea. Let's see. I wrote down the origins of the idea. So way back in the day, probably after the first Smash Bash, or the first Smash Bash that I did, I made this like Tyranid guy, or this big bug creature sort of, that had a lotus pod for a face. It was made out of an action figure. It was sick, and I made the whole base very jungle themed. Mm-hmm. And I was like, this is awesome. Then I made a Space Marine that was kind of just like a quote unquote Space Marine, but he had no faction. It was like silver armor, just because I saw some Blanche Space Marines that he just did like just
Was it
as
a Bolter
medieval
Jugend?
knights. Could have been, maybe.
Yugen.
And he was desert themed. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to link the two together. So having shower thoughts, taking showers and thinking about these two worlds, I was like, oh, okay, wait a second. The Space Marine is on a desert planet, but he's exploring these oases. So that was the big part of it. And then it just like kind of snowballed from there. So to give you a overall view of what this planet looks like, there's this planet that is unnamed that has a bunch of wrecked ships on the planet because things are sucked out of the warp into this kind of mysterious place,
It's like where like the Bermuda Triangle ends up
basically.
in space.
And so then they come out on this other side right next to this desert planet and then crash into it, like pulled by some mysterious force down onto the planet. The planet's a desert world that has these oases. So the survivors of these crashes that come out of the warp, they need to find resources to survive. And one of the biggest things is obviously, they'll need water. So the only place to get water is oases. The oases are also traps created by these bug creatures. Some of the oases are no longer like you could just go there and a bug won't attack you. But sometimes they're kind of like those burrowing spiders that just like sit and wait for life to come to their
Trapdoor spider.
Yeah, they're just like waiting until somebody comes to the oasis and then they kind of pop out
Or an
and
ant
attack
lion.
you. Yes, kind of like that. And so that was like the main story was I had this group called the Brothers of Prometheum that I definitely stole ideas from the Brotherhood of Steel from Fallout because I think that was cool.
Yep.
And they're kind of these nondescript space marines that crash onto this planet. Originally, they were from an alternative timeline that through some Zinchian shenanigans got pulled from another dimension to this 41st millennium and then crash landed on the planet. But in any case, they're there. They're trying to survive. They're like heavily augmented and they use whatever they can find from these different like wrecks on the planet and from their wrecked ship to try and get as much resources as they can without dying.
Right.
And that was the basis. From there, it's grown. Even just from like us thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Paulie's made gene stealers
Yep.
that are from Prometheum or from this place that doesn't have a name, but I'll just call it Prometheum.
Yeah.
And we've like all kind of thought of stories for our own little war bands based on this little planet.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I like it.
Yeah. I really can't think of anything that like more basic than that.
So one thing when I was doing the homework on just lurking your Instagram,
Yeah.
and then reading the little blurb of what Steve put in Under the Dice 6.
Yes.
You mentioned one of the oases. I believe it might actually be on Seed Pod Head Guy.
Yeah.
You named the Oasis 38.
Yes.
Now, did you have the concept of like, because I knowing you and reading this, I definitely got more of a Fallout vibe with how you're making your brothers themselves. Did you have the conscious effort to have the oases themselves labeled kind of like vaults from Fallout?
Ooh, dude, you know what? Probably subconsciously. I
Okay.
never thought about that. But yeah,
I think that's a
probably.
cool vibe to be like, oh, these are the Tyranids or like whatever bugs from like Oasis 29, like
Totally.
and these ones have like a little bit different marking, and it's not like it technically there wouldn't be like a full army worth, or maybe there would be, but like each little pocket is kind of like a vault in Fallout where
Yes. Well, that was it. Like each oasis, because you're mapping out the brothers crash land, and then they map out these oases.
Right.
So they find, and they'll even like map out like dried up oases or oases that are like too dangerous to go. And,
Right.
But each oasis has its own like things happening.
Yeah.
And so in that sense, it's, I mean, don't play a lot of Souls games and don't play a lot of Elden Ring, but I love the idea of there being all of these different bosses. Like each kind of stage has a totally unique and different boss.
Right,
So a
right.
lot of this was built around like, oh, you're going to this oasis? Well, at this oasis, there's like these spores going through the air and you're infected with like fungal infections. And so then you start shambling back to your ship to try and infect them. And then they're like shooting at their own comrades because you're coming back with like this all these spores infected you from a giant like fungal monster. And then the other one, it's just like some flesh-eating beast that kind of like has claws for hands and pulls you in or something.
Real death world plants that just eat
Right.
you
Yeah.
alive.
So each one you can make totally different, which makes it fun for making like maps, because like imagine making a board that's all desert and you're just fighting around like wreckage of ships and
Right,
stuff.
right.
But also you could do Phil's jungle board and it could be just an oasis that's
It's
fighting
Oasis
it.
142.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it's pretty open.
I really liked that when I was reading, just like, especially like you said, just how varied it can be. Because then you make an orc army, you make a fucking whatever you want.
Totally.
Kit bash your entire new faction that's not GW related at all. Anything.
Nobody
Yeah.
can get off of the planet.
Right,
There's
yeah,
like
you're
something
stranded.
that's stopping
Right.
you. Your ship is wrecked, but like there's war bands throughout the desert trying to fix things to get off of the planet, and like they aren't able to either gather enough resources or figure out why they're stuck there.
Yep.
The Imperium can't find you because, I mean, I
Give it a
have
million reasons.
I have a good reason for why I think it would be really cool to happen, but it's somehow cloaked. They can't see the place.
Yep.
And so and there's no real rhyme or reason why things get spit out of the warp and land here. It's kind of just like this freak thing that happens to like, either navigators or these kind of people who are like guiding the ships that like somehow they misconstrue the beacon in the warp, and then like they start going in another direction and then they pop out and they're stuck here, but there's not really a rhyme or reason about why they end up there.
Have you've watched Love, Death, and Robots?
A couple of the episodes.
I don't know if you've seen it, but there's the one I'm talking about? Oh, you haven't watched it either.
I
you
watched
fuck.
either, yeah.
There's one about a ship that like there's these like gates in space, and it's like a warp gate pretty much, like to get you to other sides of the universe. And like the ship, like intergalactic truckers pretty much, they go through a gate and they get spit out at this place. It's not where they're supposed to be. They wake up out of cryo sleep, and like a team of
sick.
people meet them, and it's like they're like, yeah, you're not anywhere where you're supposed to be. You're on like the outer rim of space that is not explored.
I watched this episode. We watched it on the way back from Cole's wedding.
Yes. And it's like very like, oh yeah, no, you just popped out here, and when people pop out here, there's no way to get
You're
back.
just fucked.
You're
Yeah,
stuck here forever.
Exactly.
And like,
That's
but then there's there's more going on with that episode. It's like
No, totally.
weird synapse shit is going on, and like that was like kind of how I thought of
Perfect way to
Prometheum,
think about it,
was
yeah.
like, oh, this ancient, because I thought of it very similar to the Leviathans on Fenris, where it's like splinter factions of Tyranids that are just trapped in this ice world that don't have connection to a synapse range, and they're just giant monstrosities. That's kind of how I imagine Prometheum, with these like dots of Tyranids. There's no greater power controlling them, but all their synapse on this planet kind of fucks with the orbital, whatever's going on with the navigators, and it causes the crash landings on the planet.
Perfect. Yeah. And that's, I think, the coolest part about Prometheum is like everybody can have their own take, and their
Exactly.
own take could be based around their warband.
Yep.
I want to do, or at least I was thinking about, and it's funny that you did this AdMech bash, Phil. I was thinking about a scenario that was a group of AdMech that are convinced that there's something in the middle of the earth, and so they're building like mining tools to like dig down deep.
Well,
Oh shit! No way.
no, mine's not like that.
But that's
A little bit.
That was just like I think that's a sick freaking vibe.
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah.
going to do that then. You rock it and go for it.
No. Mine is a little bit of a subterranean vibe, but
But it's sick.
Yeah.
It's like there's and so then his AdMech warband can have these thoughts or these opinions based on this planet, but like if we're doing brothers, it's like brothers could also just be like, well, this planet is like a death world. It must have gotten like exterminatus, and it's just been like slowly sitting here forever. How are we going to survive? Like or whatever. Like everybody could have their own opinion because nobody knows what's happening on this planet. It's sick.
So for this episode, we all were tasked with a couple ideas to try and
Cement.
some lore into this.
Yeah. And they don't have to link, just like we were saying.
Of course.
Things could be totally different.
Phil, you want to talk about your subterranean?
Yeah. Sorry.
This is
I didn't mean to-
cemented
No,
lore.
no. You didn't spoil anything. So my guy here that I bashed together, this is Majos biologist Chironin, and he has his group called the Chironin Body Snatchers.
Ooh, fuck yeah.
And so, aesthetically, one of my favorite things about AdMech is how fucking inhuman. So something that is technically still a person, but is just so barely even a human anymore. Not just like physically, but just like there's nothing going on like in their head anymore. They're for all intents and purposes a robot. I think that's pretty spooky, and I like that aspect of them. I think they're really creepy. So, Magos biologist Chironin is stuck here on the planet, and he has come into possession of some kind of technology, perhaps Necron technology, that allows him and his henchmen to appear sort of at will at any sort of oasis. They just show up like that.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Real teleporter tech.
Yeah. I was thinking Necron because specifically I think there's a lot of neat lore tie-ins between the two factions, but also I think it would be a really cool modeling opportunity to blend models from the two separate armies. And so the idea is their lair that nobody can find is somewhere deep underground, and it is it's like an old Necron ship.
Dude.
And
like a pyramid just underground.
Yeah, and to get off of the planet, he's constantly churning through servitors to try and, piece things together, fix the ship, do whatever he's got to do. So he's constantly moving through bodies. So he's always sending his guys out to harvest new bodies.
Fuck,
to be
that's
new
so
servers.
sick.
Oh, a ship
So we
crash
could have-
landed the other day. Better go find the
Yeah,
remnants.
we need some guys. We need some more hands. So he's kind of like a slaver almost, except he's,
Sick.
there's no he's not selling
Unconscionable.
slaves. Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
that's a sick scenario idea right there.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, he
Well,
shows
so
up.
I have a sort
Totally.
of a mission idea. Mm-hmm. It's just called body snatching, where the idea is for if you're playing as the body snatchers, is that you want to either like kill or eliminate other people's henchmen without engaging their warlord. Like you want to
That's
like
sick.
come in
Steal
around,
them.
essentially steal
right,
them. Yeah,
right.
Sick.
and do that's like some sort of like a mission type.
That's cool. That's also like opposite of a lot of games. What they do, where it's like, I mean, like Miller Strategy Battle Game Battle Companies does it, where it's like your warband leader is captured.
Yeah,
You have to kill everyone else off to get your warband guy
yeah.
back. This
Nope,
is complete
you just want-
opposite.
Yeah,
I like that
you
a
want
lot.
to just steal some bodies. Yeah.
I also like the idea of like, now would he like, just headcanon, I guess, say there was like a fucked up mercenary, like, mercenary Imperial Guard unit that was on the planet. Would he work with them for them to go capture bodies for him? Or would he just be like, no, I'm taking you guys?
I don't know. I didn't really think about that. I mean, it probably depends on how he sees them. Do they seem like they're valuable, like they're experienced,
Yeah.
like they, like they can do something, or are they just shitty fucking bodies?
No,
that
I'm
he could
thinking like
take?
a hardened veteran unit.
Perhaps.
Like, because I've been like crossed.
It depends on
between
how
this.
he's feeling. But I also like the idea that I could have servitors that are non-human
yeah.
necessarily.
Oh yeah. I was
Yeah.
just about to say that. That's
You have
also
little fucked
great.
up orc and like tyrannid like servitors.
Right.
Just extra hands to help, excavate his lair or get it, working so he can get the fuck off of this stupid planet.
Just digging the hole's going to be a lot of work.
That's it.
But yeah, I just like the idea of just like, whoever is just, you're at an oasis, you're like, oh, finally I'm at an oasis where there's no killer like flora or fauna. And then just like the air starts to shimmer and a bunch of fucked up servitors kind of just step out
Flayed
scary
ones.
robot
Yeah.
guys. Yeah. Sort of just step out of the ether and they're coming for you.
Non-Necron flayed ones sounds so sick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This funnels into just like I didn't expand on this idea too much, but I just wrote down Blackstone core. Like one of the reasons like the ships and like all the warp fuckery and the reason that like everything is just being like kind of crashed down on this planet is because it has a Blackstone core.
Yeah.
And so they are that's where I was going with that like mining idea, at least in my thought, was like
Yeah.
they're going down and
Oh, yeah.
finding like
Maybe there's
Blackstone
something down there.
below, yeah. And that was just stolen from Eisenhorn book, because he's just like digging into this rock, or he's not, but this Magos is just like digging into this rock like deeper and deeper into this, using this like tube centipede that has laser or plasma
Like a
cutters.
tilling bit.
And it's just like wheedling its way through the rock and like finding things as it goes, and then trying to uncover this cult.
Yeah. Tech Priest Magos of any kind is, I think, a really cool antagonist.
Totally. Totally.
They're
So
after that
neat.
fucking
all
forbidden
science,
knowledge.
baby.
Yeah.
That's sick.
And there's so many good kit bash opportunities with like
Yeah.
Magos guys, because they're just like mostly machines. So it's like, are they held up on like sensor beams? Are they just like a small little unit that like floats around that has like all the data and knowledge like in the little ball that
Yeah.
floats or something? You know,
Dude,
It's
Just
maybe-
like a little armless, legless
Yeah.
guy floating around.
totally.
Well, I have that guy that I got from Curtis, the little fucking the spool of wires, you know, that's just like sliding across the ground.
Oh yeah.
I built it up with like a fucking like a weird wizard torso on top.
Oh, hell
of
yeah.
course. Maybe I haven't had anything to do with it, but maybe I'll make it as an NPC for like a body
Dude,
snatcher
yeah.
mission or something.
Totally.
Just give him a gun. He's good to
Another
go.
He's got a big claw arm, so
Yeah,
you
he's
know
fine.
he'll just chop someone in half.
Another like the best things about this kind of world is because each oasis is different, and because you can just come up like any kit bash opportunity is just like, oh, this freak like globby slug thing that you made. It's like all of a sudden now that is Oasis 275. And that's the monster from Oasis 275.
Right,
and like
right.
these are his powers, write up rules for them,
Yep.
and then we'll play on Phil's board and like do a 6 scenario where
Yes.
it's like this thing's controlling your characters, and Phil's moving your people if they like roll too low.
At the
or
beginning of a
something like
turn,
that.
you roll a d6, and on
Yeah.
like a 1 or 2, Phil controls what they
Yeah.
do.
Yes,
Yeah,
and
that's
it's like,
cool.
and then they're fighting like the mind control or something like that.
Just making me play by myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, until you control them all, and then they're part of your war band. It's like playing for Anti and Magic.
I was gonna
You
say
just
Anti
control
and
them
Magic,
now.
yeah.
No,
Yeah.
my creatures.
Take my whole models.
See, and that's cool because now Phil, that's canon. Phil's
Dude,
Magos
yeah.
is now a villain on the planet.
And the planet is so big, and communication is so limited that what you're doing on one side of the planet may not affect.
You may never even
anything.
see this
Also,
guy.
yeah, for the I think the idea of not taking ownership of that idea is cool. I think anyone can make Chiron and body snatchers.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
Oh, hell
sick.
yeah.
Yeah, smash together some AdMech and some Necrons and you know, servitors of any kind that you want.
You think he has a vast legion of servitors in that pyramid? Vast is a very loose
he
word.
churns through them. They die in industrial accidents all the time.
Real live leak shit.
Yeah.
Watch this.
That's why he's got to
factory
He's
servitor.
got to keep snatching bodies.
I got a cool idea based off that. Like, what if there was a servitor that like fought for his sentience so hard that he actually broke away from the Magos, and now he's like running with another war band, and
Yeah.
so it's like you kit bash one of these guys to be in like,
He's like a bounty hunter
Yeah.
almost
Yeah.
for
Oh, dude,
like
totally.
the brothers. The brothers are
Totally.
like, yo, we could use this guy.
yeah. Oh, dude, I don't know. It's fun, man. One of my ideas, because the Blackstone Core was one of them, but the other one was that this group of Imperial Guard finds a crashed vessel, and looking for supplies, they go into it and find a bunch of like medicinal supplies, like a bunch of just like shots and like, you know, stim packs or whatever
Hell
they have
yeah.
in freaking Warhammer. And they're in there, but all of the materials in this ship have been tainted by the warp. And so they take these like medical supplies and they're like healing themselves. and they're just becoming corrupted by chaos.
Real Nurgle implanted shit.
And that's pretty much it. Is
Yeah.
because I just like want to make more Nurgle cultists. So like, you know, now they're injecting themselves with this stuff that's just like
Big
painful.
pharma.
Wow, it doesn't hurt anymore because
Yeah.
I just fucking plunge Papa Nurgle's bullshit in, and now I have the what's Nurgle's blessing?
Yeah. And so from there's like this cult that's operating out of like one of the oases, and in this oasis they're like building this like, you know, meat shrine, or like, you know, summoning this
The
like
Garden of
this
Nurgle.
gross demon in there. Yeah. And they're just using all of
The
the life
oasis of
forces from
Nurgle.
it.
Oh,
yeah,
fuck
dude.
yeah.
That's what I'm talking
That's
about.
pretty sick.
That's Oasis 7.
Yeah. And there's like a sick greater demon in there that you have to fight, and it's just this big, gross, gloppy.
It's your fucking Smash Bash entry.
I mean, there you go.
See,
Fuck,
that's
you spoiled
cool.
his post.
Oh shit! Oh shit! See,
But yeah.
that's sick,
It's just like it's open to so much bullshit.
dude. I want a way to like, because it's cool to have all this. It'd be cool to have like every time someone comes up with something, like document it somewhere.
We'll have to. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it can't.
The wiki
Can't be headcanon all the time.
Yeah, we could definitely make a wiki for this. This
Yeah.
would not have to be.
That would be sick.
Some crazy difficult project.
Well, and there's people already making kind of brothers.
3 people hit me up.
Yeah.
all at once. Not at once, but like throughout the day.
in the same minute.
Yeah, like Brad, Cosmic Mike, and someone else hit me up being like, "Hey, is this okay for brothers?" And I was like, "Absolutely, it is. Do it."
Totally.
You know what's even cooler? Not even asking, just doing what Eldritch
Yes.
Menagerie did and coming up with the coolest shit.
And his is the
And his is so
craziest
sick.
one.
Yeah. Yeah,
We're not
Bryce,
spoiling it.
I'll say, Bryce, I don't know if you hard posted those, but you have to. Post it in the fucking Discord. I need to see those again.
Yeah, his Dark Mechanicus is fucking sick.
Dude.
His whole idea. I'm not spoiling it for him, but check the Discord in Rust We Trust if you'd like to see more when Bryce decides to post it.
Shout out. Yeah, it's great. Do you have any ideas, Gagey?
Oh, I got ideas.
Ooh.
So I wanted to, of course, now I'm just going to blank on it. The whole idea for what I have, I really want Gene Stealer Cult, but to be different from Paul's vibe. Even just like in a general 40K gaming stance, we had very different ideas anyway. But I really, really like the fact that this planet could have existed at some point.
Yeah.
Could have been an established civilization and an exterminatus or something happened.
Yeah.
And it's just like just getting back to the point of where there's populace in certain areas. And with the Gene Stealer Cult, I haven't really settled on a name. No matter what I do, I keep going back to the word syndicate.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but I really like the idea of a Gene Stealer Cult that only shows up like in the dark, like at night.
Night Raiders.
But more, I hate the vibe personally of like Gene Stealer Cult being a mining operation and like all of their guys have mining gear. I've always hated that. So I always swap out everything with power weapons or just like guns or just cooler things. So my idea was more of this syndicate that they're kind of like, not like arms dealers per se, but they're operating out of like either a Crash Space Hulk or something just kind of underground, but not really. It's just in a spot that you would never think to look. And these guys are taking tech from every faction that crashes out in the wild.
Oh, yes.
More
baby.
so that way I can take a Space Marine tank and use it in mine.
yeah.
Or I can use a fucking ship that I would never get to fly around as my Gene Stealer Cult. So I really like the vibe of all these guys being like kind of like Spec Ops Gene Stealer Cult that only is ever at night.
Hell yeah.
But the twist of them knowing the fact that these Oasis pockets are the different Tyranids or whatever, and they kind of are like in the vibe of like, well, they're letting us coexist as long as we keep, putting weird shit into our DNA through whatever means necessary. I don't even think I have to flesh that out. But so they're totally okay with more mutations than like general 40K lore would have. Like, give your guys huge scything talons or like big crab claws just on a regular infantry guy.
Yeah.
I just really like that. Kind of leaning into the military aspect of like an Imperial Guard, like heavy armor, but not
Bio Imperial armor.
yeah, kind of like not so brute force as like they do.
Real Akira shit where his arm's exploding.
Shit like that. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, just like really freak shit that they're just like, okay, yeah, that's cool that guy has that, but we're still going to be like this syndicate underground like operation kind of working with these other things, but also not at the same time. Like they're the ones that kind of know the planet's landscape without actually.
So are they? They're not working with anyone else. Like, are they dealing weapons?
They're working with everyone.
So
Yeah.
now this was something that I was trying to explore and I couldn't really figure out. Is it like? Would you say the world is more like Mad Maxy or more even desolate than that?
So before you answer real quick,
Okay.
this was because my main vibe for this, I really wanted to like pay tribute to like the Blackfinger Society of Mad Max.
Yeah, baby.
Where like they're the mechanics that know everything, and like technically the whole society would fucking collapse without them.
Yeah.
But nobody gives a shit about them. That's kind of where I was going with my vibe of like these guys are trading tech to fucking everyone.
Yeah.
They're the ones that like
Like a guy might come to the brothers' fucking base, be like, "Yo, I got this stuff."
right, because I like the idea of like these non-generic or these generic Space Marines that like yeah, they came here. At this point, they don't even give a fuck that they're
They don't care about the
Ultramarine.
Empire.
They don't care that they're an Ultramarine. They don't care that they're a Blood Angel. They don't care anymore. They're a guy trying to fucking survive.
Yes.
And they're
Yeah.
going to go to the Syndicate and try and get whatever tech they can to survive, even knowing that this guy with a huge crab claw could kill him at any moment, but he needs this fucking Auspex
Yeah.
to survive his next mission against the Body Snatchers.
Yes.
So,
Yeah, I mean, this world was 1,000% inspired by Mad Max. I liked the Mad Max aspects of orcs in general and was trying to just make a Space Marine army that felt more Mad Max.
And that's my
that
favorite
was
thing
part
about
of
this.
Yeah.
I especially like with most of the Marines that you were making early on where they don't have helmets.
Yeah.
A guy with a gene stealer weapon.
Real,
Like,
like you said, Steel Battalion, like not Steel Battalion,
Brotherhood of Steel.
yeah,
Yeah.
or Steel Battalion, the game, yeah,
yeah,
either or.
great game.
But yeah, Brotherhood of Steel vibes were like, yeah, they can take their head off, like their helmet off, and still just exist in that, being like, oh fuck, hard day at work today, like. I don't know, that propaganda of like propaganda posters I could see everywhere. That vibe to me is so cool.
And I mean, the idea they're called the Brothers of Prometheum because they love fucking big gas guzzling, like, you know, shit. Like my vision in my head is just like some fuck up, like big smokestack diesel ass powered thing from Gaslands
Yeah.
because I also
So
wanted
I
to
like
combine
the,
Gaslands to
A
it.
Space Marine driving the General Lee.
Like some shit like that, you know? And then just like popping out of the top with just some fucked up broken like binoculars, like looking across the desert
Yep.
and seeing like a dirt cloud move in the distance
Yeah.
and being like, let's go.
get 'em.
Right,
and then
right.
just like a bunch of just like gas powered cars just like like busting over the dunes.
Yes.
Like that was
Right.
It's a big part of it. So yeah, like a trader or even a roaming caravan going through the desert where it's just like you can buy shit from this guy who has a literal camel with two heads or something.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, and it's
Yeah,
just like, yeah,
exactly.
that's my fucked
Real
up
dope
camel.
smoker.
Yeah.
bro.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I even texted you. I was like, yeah, your Weedian should be in
They should
Brothers.
be, yeah.
You know,
If
just
I
these
wasn't so hyped on
nomads.
my arms trader guys, yeah, it
Yeah.
definitely would be.
Yes, no, totally. Like a big part is like there is like Prometheum on this planet that you can get out of the ground.
That I don't want to take if you have more, but I have that.
No,
trigger
that's
something.
mostly it. Like I said, it's I the emphasis for me aesthetically is just that they're mostly clad in black and like they don't
Yeah,
really
baby.
do dealings anytime during the day.
Yeah,
So they're-
I love that there's
So
this
cool.
like faction that everyone has to work with if you
They have
want to survive.
photosensitivity.
Yes.
Like, oh, they're definitely mutant Tyranid guys, but like I straight up don't care because I need that heavy bolter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I
Pretty
think that's
much,
great.
yeah.
Dude, it's just like some dirty ass heavy bolter.
Yeah.
Like you go into their shop and it's just like Star Wars ass dusty and there's just a bunch of freaking tools everywhere. Or it's like, what would,
You're
maybe
pulling it
was-
out of the pile, the whole pile's collapsing under, and you're like, yeah, I need
I
this.
guess I'll take this. Yeah.
Maybe it's Blade Runner. I'm trying to think of there's some movie where it's like they're going into this guy's shop and he's like putting new eyes in or whatever, but it's like an illegal, I don't even know what I'm thinking of. But it's like dusty and dirty and it's just like some weird end of the world fucking I don't even
I
know.
don't know.
Man, I
It's
wish
going to
I
be
could think
so
of it.
blatantly obvious when
Yeah.
we're editing this, but I don't know.
Ghost in the Shell.
It's like something like that where it's just like gross vibe, but it's like, yeah, you go there and it's just like you click this heavy bolt or whatever, it like whirs up the plasma cannon and it's just like covered in dust, but the middle
All the
part's
dust
just
fucking
like
shoots
yeah,
off.
yeah, and it just like glows bright. And some like guy behind a counter is like, for you, I don't know, 3 things of water or whatever,
Yeah.
and you got to like trade jugs of water
Pretty
for
much.
this weapon.
I kind of envision more like the Stalker series where like it is definitely like Junktown or Bullet Town vibes
Yeah.
where you're going in to trade shit, but the price is always just so much, and it's always like a favor or like, and it's like, do you really, as a Space Marine that you pledge your whole life to the Imperium and now you're stuck on this planet, do you really want to do a favor with the Gene Stealer Cult Syndicate? Like,
I don't know. I think of that picture of the 2 Space Marines and like makeshift fucking Rogue Trader where all their armor is different color and shit, and they got like a bandana on that just says like "kill you." Like,
yeah.
You can't survive.
Yeah.
Dude, totally.
Space Marines #1 fucking protocol: survive.
That's it.
Dude, it's fun, man. This shit's cool.
Dude.
So what was your idea?
Well, I like the whole like Brothers of Prometheum. I always
Yeah.
envisioned the planet being called Prometheum just
Yes.
due to like
Yeah.
richness of Prometheum. Like, yo, water is a scarce resource, but Prometheum's everywhere.
Yes.
Yo, you need to fuel your fucking rhino up. It's right there in the ground, baby. That's
but
why
you
the
can't
sand's
drink
red.
it, you
That's why
know?
the sand's red.
Yeah.
Like all
Yes,
the Prometheum
totally.
in the sand.
Yep.
Like
Huge refineries of refining this sand.
yeah.
Like
you could have a Prometheum cult that is literally, we purify the sand into gasoline for you to fuel your shit
Yeah. Worshipping the
what was
gas
it,
gods.
the
Yeah.
Tiberium Cult.
from Command and Conquer.
Yeah, but there's like an offset. There's like a mission I remember where it's like,
Yeah, the Brotherhood of Nod.
well, I mean, yeah, that's their whole fucking thing. But like, there's an offset where it's like the fucking locals are just like a Tiberium cult. I don't know. Continue
know
with what you're
either.
saying. I'll figure it out.
That was about it. But I do love how you can do the orc thing,
Yeah.
but just with Space Marines. So it's like
100%.
more refined. You know what I mean? Like
Yep.
you do the scratch bash, but it's like kind of refined because it's
Yeah.
like, I'm not a fucking orc. I'm a guy with a blowtorch
Exactly.
who kind of knows what he's doing. Like,
This shit's just as jagged as any orc vehicle, just as slapped together as any orc vehicle, but it's dudes driving.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
which is sick.
But it's dudes.
Yeah, man. Just
Yeah.
big fucking smokestacks coming out of the side of something. And honestly, it's like you joke about the General Lee, but I even had like model kits of like cars that I was like, yeah, I'm going to bash this up just like you would do an orc vehicle, but I'm going to turn it into like, something that they put together of bits and pieces from different wrecks.
yeah, and that's cool.
Yeah. Fucking A, man. Fucking A.
I had some like my brothers, like, because I think the Space Marine
Yeah.
aspect is so fucking sick. Like, because I kind of did the brothers thing after Hondius. That's
Yeah.
when I really, because my Hondius warband was my first like really foray into the brother stuff. Was building that fucking little warband of scratched up guys and
Yeah.
then going further and further into it. But I just love the fucking Imperial Guard tanks just thrown together, and then it's like,
Yes.
yeah, we found this in a space wreck and it didn't have enough parts, so we had to find some more parts and we threw it on and we made a makeshift whirlwind by strapping a bunch of fucking missile pods to the top.
Totally, dude.
Yeah,
There's so much. Like, you could go so deep into this world,
Yeah.
and like because there's no rules as like written or whatever, like you can build a hot air balloon and be like, yeah, my guys took to the sky, and
Yeah.
like it's like the whatever Mad Max 2 or whatever, where there's that guy who flies around in his plane or his hot air balloon or whatever. It's been a long time since I've seen it. but-
Waterworld, baby.
yeah, or like Waterworld, dude, like something like that, but like for the freaking desert.
Yeah,
Yeah, without
Dude.
water.
without water, opposite of water.
Imagine like
oil sea, Prometheum
yeah, baby.
sea.
Oh, dude.
That's sick.
That's a cool idea.
Some
Just
jet
a big
skis.
puddle of freaking gas.
Yes, dude, that's cool.
What if it
Fucking
ignites?
Dude,
Well,
then
that's
you
the
fucking
fucking
die.
trick.
Get across.
Yeah.
Get across quick.
And then I've been putting together some kits. I have all the stuff. Like I picked up that Falcon for really cheap at the Bits Bazaar, and then Brad hooked me up with some Eldar Rangers. And I'm gonna do like Eldar with a scrap together fucking camo netting all over it, like Falcon, and then I'm gonna do all the camo cloaks with the Rangers, so it's like red Prometheum cloaks.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah,
I think one thing that we should establish right now that I know we'll all be stoked on, and we've never talked about this previously, but your original bash made me think of this. Prometheum has to have speeders.
Got
Oh, yeah.
dude.
Emphasis on speeders.
Gotta have. Like,
How do you get across the plains?
on.
You need a speeder.
Gotta be speeders.
Just like an underground, like not even underground, because the whole planet is like, but it's like there's like racing. There's like pod racing on this
Yeah.
fucking
Yeah.
What
planet.
the fuck do we do today? Well, we could go do some racing.
Trying to win water from like this giant baron who just like has found an oasis that's not fucked up and
Yeah.
is just
Oh,
pulling
dude,
water
he's
out of
taking
it.
control of it.
Yeah.
He builds a wall around the oasis.
Totally. And then he's just running races, and if you win, you go, like, you win water.
What's his name from fucking Fury Road?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Literally.
Immortal Joe or whatever. right?
Immortan Joe.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Immortan Joe. Yeah, sorry.
That's cool.
No, it's
yeah, it's fucking sick, right? And there could just be like everybody makes their own speeder, and we play fucking Gaslands
Yes.
rules, dude. Like,
Dude, Gaslands rules with 28 scale speeders
Oh,
is
dude.
so sick.
it's cool as
We
fuck,
gotta do
man.
that.
We have thanks to Blurs, we have access to the 28 scale Gaslands movement.
Oh, hell yeah.
Trays. So
The
Yeah.
little like thingies.
yeah,
the little-
your movement, the things you. The
Oh,
pieces.
yeah.
he made 28 scale.
28 scale one.
Dude,
We gotta
my
get
God,
those.
We have to do.
So we have to play.
Dude, I'm so down.
But that's what I'm saying. So no matter what your headcanon is, you have to include speeders.
Yeah.
That's a hard rule.
Yeah, you
That's
have
why-
to have a well, because I'm making that like land speeder too. Like I have
Yep.
those bikes, but like I'm working on a little land speeder. Dude, I love the scratch building vehicles
Yeah.
thing. I fucking love it. And the Bolterjugen, Space Marine body
American,
is
it's
the
okay.
best fucking like starting point
Yes.
if you want to explore this, is because you can build so well off of them.
Yep.
We got to talk to them. We got to get them in.
Get them to sponsor us.
Yeah.
But the big thing I wanted everyone to take away from this is like, this is a world that exists, and I just want people to build to it. I just want more
Totally.
people to like go play OPR, play fucking Warhammer
Yes.
40K, play Kill Team, play whatever in this setting because it's just
But
fun.
most importantly, show us your cool shit.
yeah, I want to see your
Yes.
cool stuff.
Yeah, totally.
Hashtag Brothers of Prometheum.
Oh man, I don't know.
DT's been
however-
doing
Is
it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Prometheum with a IUM or an EUM?
However, it's spelled in the lore, I forget.
I think it's EUM.
I googled Prometheum and it's a crypto. coin.
IUM.
IUM.
Yep, there it
okay.
goes.
EUM is a crypto.
Cool.
You don't have to buy crypto to play this
No,
game.
and
You
also
have to buy Hive Scum crypto though. Shirts.
Yeah, right. So also, just I want to point out, Steve put it in the Under the Dice issue 6.
Yeah.
If you're trying, because this is something that my brain wants to be in line with all these online projects, but it's always like, how do I make it just look in world without,
Yeah.
Oh, there is a real
straight up.
element, Prometheum.
yes, without
know
just
that.
straight up copying them or like just figuring it out. Steve put in the issue that they're how to make Brothers of Prometheum bases.
Yeah.
Generally, we've kind of just been doing it by chance together.
Yeah.
Step 0, sand dirt. Super glue, just dip your base in whatever garbage you have. Step 1, prime it black. Step 2, pro krill burnt red. Just a burnt red, doesn't have to be
Yeah.
pro
Yeah.
krill.
Yeah.
I think I even say it in there. It can be whatever fucking
Yeah,
red
it could
you
literally
have,
be whatever you have. And then an old rust pigment powder after.
Yeah.
which is just like an orange.
Yes.
Wait, what is that?
It's
The
just
basing?
Desert World.
Yep. So you have a dark red.
I was
and
definitely
then,
going to ask for help basing.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
super easy
Yeah,
and
it's really
fun.
easy.
And it looks really good.
Yeah.
You gotta
So-
do basing last though.
Yeah.
Yeah, because then you cover your whole fucking thing in pigment powder, real
Oh my
dusty
God.
vibes.
Looks
Yeah.
fucking
Yeah.
great.
And before Rod of Hondius, the Rod of Hondius rule set was actually Brothers of Promethean rule set. So
Technically, yeah.
while there is no rule set to use, and you could just, it could be like Vastarian, where it's like you're just making things for it and maybe potentially never playing with them. But we'll probably end up doing Gaslands with it. You could totally use OPR. What was the gang one?
I don't know, firefight.
Gang
Firefight's like the
Yeah.
skirmish one, but then they have like OPR firefight gang war,
Yeah.
which is like Necromunda.
Yeah.
Right.
You could use Kill Team if you loved it. GW straight up rules if that's what you want to use. Just play on like whatever board and it's like come up with your own custom scenario. It really doesn't matter what you do. However, I would
wanna hear about
suggest that you use Forbidden Psalm rules because
Yeah.
it's the easiest thing to do.
Yeah, Last War has been the most hackable in our
Yeah.
circle for sure.
Yep. You could totally just use Last War and take it. Probably also kill sample process.
Yep. There's a lot of extra shit in that you probably won't need, but
Yeah.
it's all the same rule set. It's
Yeah.
all easy enough. Whatever the hell you want, though.
Maybe just make noises and like move them around on your rug.
I like that a lot too.
Yeah, that's probably the best way to
Honestly,
play with them.
Prometheum rug.
Dude, just an orange rug, a mustard colored rug.
I'd
That's a game mat, baby.
all day.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
put some spooky little things on there and have your little tanks and make some rumble, blap, blap, noises, and you're part of the
You're
team.
winning. Yeah.
Anything else to add, boys, about the
No.
Prometheum?
about that?
No. If you do write anything or make a warband, let me know because I want to know about it.
Yeah,
And then we can put it in the fake wiki that maybe we'll make.
yeah.
The Oasis tracker.
If not,
Yes,
I'm just
dude.
going to make a page on the DICE website that just says what it is.
We could come up with some sort of like in canon term, in world term for like the database of Prometheum, like
Yeah.
deposits or like
Just like
oases.
yeah,
or,
building the little lore out of being like, oh, these guys work with these guys, but they don't really fuck with these guys,
Right,
And that
right.
could just be slowly
Yeah.
built out through people's stories.
Exactly. Documenting each Oasis 77.
Yeah.
What do you got there? What's over there? Tell me.
Dude. Yeah, and then there's just you never
made
run out of
models.
numbers, bro. So
Yeah,
you can
yeah.
just keep
Hey.
going higher. Keep
Planet,
making
it's a
shit.
big planet.
Yeah. Oh, dude, it's fun. And damn, there was something. Oh, Eldar being on this planet is like probably the coolest.
Dude, I'm really excited to paint them.
We
'cause I'm
should-
going to paint them so shitty, just like black suits with like the orange red camo cloaks that they can just throw over and be hiding in the fucking sand. Like
It's cool.
I'm hyped.
real Fremen vibes from
Yeah,
Eldar.
straight up.
Prometheum has an atomic number of 61.
Just so you
Nice.
all know.
All of its isotopes are radioactive.
Nice.
It is extremely rare. It's only about 500 to 600 grams naturally occurring in Earth's crust at
Wow.
any given time.
Wait, what? Really?
There you go.
At any one given time. So right now, there's only 500 grams of promethium at any point in the Earth.
That's what I said.
You think there's mines for this shit?
No.
No.
Well, then how do they know it's only 600 grams?
They fucking guessing.
Probably radiation would wipe out areas if there was larger than that.
Well, no, I know that, but then how do they know
there's a way to actually
anything?
measure it.
Yeah.
The way that the measuring methods and like when you get into like physics and shit like that are crazy.
Listen, if you're
Like
an
how they
expert
can
in
they
this
can
shit,
how they can like measure like what planets are made of just by like the wave,
Yeah.
like the light that comes off of
Right.
it.
How heavy the world is.
that's just someone guessing.
Oh yeah,
Nah, dude.
No, calculating like the weight of like a planet
that
and like
seems
what its
crazy.
chemical makeup just by the like wavelengths of light that are coming off of it, and like
It's
the,
one
That's made
breakdown.
up thought. That is made up thought.
One breakdown from listening to a Zabalba record and how long it takes for it to get around the world. That's how,
How
heavy
many
it
do you
is.
think?
I don't know. It's too
What do you
heavy.
mean?
It's too fucking heavy.
I don't get it.
Well,
nothing to get.
I'll show you
All right.
right now.
How do you see? This is something that like you talking about the science of Prometheum.
dude, physics is so scary.
People were talking in the Flames Discord about like
Oh, no.
star systems and like asking about the dying star. Like, well, if the star is dying, then the whole solar system is going to blow up.
Shut the fuck up!
That was my like instinctual response. It's like, motherfucker, there's a game.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think that deep.
No, and neither should you, listener. Don't think too deep. You'll get lost. Unless you're Phil, who's always deep in his head.
It's true.
Maybe a little too deep.
Yeah. Well, listeners, thanks for checking us out for another edition of Hive Scum. Go build your freaks in the desert.
And show us.
Yeah, and show us.
Yeah, and show us.
Toodaloo.
Thanks for checking out this episode of Hive Scum. If you aren't already part of the community, check us out at the In Rust We Trust Discord, which you can find down in the description below. If you have questions you'd like to ask us, you can find our Instagrams down below as well. Or feel free to ask away on the Discord. We also have plenty of extra content and other perks available to our patrons on Patreon. So if you're interested in helping us keep doing what we're doing, then you can find that description below as well. Until next time, folks, keep it grimdark and keep it grimy. Peace.